I want to show a quick example of how to use the provisioning API to create a new location in Aquarius. I'm going to use the provisioning API as it's a wonderful interface to access quite easily the Aquarius API. So the first step is to log in. Let's do that. Once it comes up, I'm just going to open up a new tab so we can have another tab open with access to the provisioning API to the endpoint. So I'm just going to type in provisioning, and there we go from what I've entered earlier. So that is the endpoint of the provisioning API. If I click enter, it's going to take me to a bit of information about the API. Lots of good info here, as well as links to other parts of the API that are relevant. The one we're interested in here is the Swagger UI interface. That'll bring us to the main interface that shows all of the different methods that are available to the provisioning API. Have a look and check them out. The one we're interested in is the location. So I'll click on that. You'll see it opens up the various methods that are related to the Aquarius locations, as well as the HTTP action that's applicable. So in this case, we want the post method action for location. So it's simply location, and that's going to create a location. So when I click on it, it's going to show me a little bit more about this particular call and what's required. So in this case, let's say we want to create a location with an identifier of Cripple Creek 99. Let's go with that. It's going to be called with the typo. Let's go with that typo. Cripple Creek, and it's got that very cryptic location identifier. That's all good. The location path. Every out of the box Aquarius comes with one location folder called all locations, and that's where I'm going to put this particular location. If we had other folders, other subfolders, then you would specify it with the dot notation. So sub like that, subfolder A dot subfolder C, etc., as if you're navigating down through a subfolder hierarchy. But in this case, we're just going to keep it as all locations. And then the location type, out of the box, Aquarius comes with 3 location types. This is going to be a hydrology station. It also has water quality station and meteorological station, I believe. If we wanted to create add other non-required attributes for this location, we could. Description, lats, longs, elevation, etc. I believe UTC offset is also required, although it doesn't say that, so I'm just going to set it at PST, so 8 hours shifted off of UTC, which is our Pacific time zone. Now, we'll notice if I try to create this at this particular time, let's try it, we should get an error, which we do. Quick feedback here that it tells us that it was unsuccessful, and here's why. The column identifier, web portal sync location extension validation error, value cannot be empty. So you might scratch your head, well, what's that about? I don't see anything that says web portal sync in one of these fields up here. But what it is referring to is that I have created a custom attribute for this location, a custom extended attribute through the customization steps that are outlined in the admin guide, and that custom attribute is called web portal sync. So what we need to do is assign that here because it's a required field. So that is, here's the syntax where one would assign that. It needs to be in JSON format, which is just simply like this, but with the name of the attribute and then the value, just like that. So I'm going to copy that and put that in here, paste it. And how to assign these extended attributes I've included in the document that I'm sending to you as well, a little more detail. So that should be all I need to do. I'm going to go back down to my try it out button, click that, and there we go. It gives us some feedback immediately that 201 means it's successful. Here's some detail about the location that it just created. Now when I go over to my Springboard and I search for Cripple, as I type, you see, there it is. It comes up right there. It has been created successfully. I click on location details to bring up the location, and there it is.